Today we are finishing up the turbocharged Toyota Corolla and we are taking it out on its first test drive. In the last video, if you missed it, we turbocharged the little 1.8 liter 1ZZ FE and it is now a 1ZZ FTE. And there's a little turbocharger back there. But there's a couple things that I didn't finish with it and I want to go back and finish before we actually bring this thing out on the road. I want to get the oil catch can reinstalled because currently there's nothing hooked up to it. I want to get the ECU off the floor and mount it up behind the glove box so we can put the glove box back in. And I want to fix the exhaust leak. Now off camera, I have already fixed the exhaust leak between the downpipe and the cat pipe, but there's still an exhaust leak at the muffler. That was because the gasket went bad. So we're going to install a new gasket between the cat pipe and the muffler. And once all that is done, this will be a complete turbocharged Corolla and we're ready to start driving it and start breaking in the new turbo kit. We're starting from the front of the car, working our way back. Let's start off by reconnecting this oil catch can. So this is the hose I got. It is a transmission cooler hose from Advanced Auto, but it is the perfect size for the oil catch can. So I figured, even though it says transmission cooler, we're gonna use this thing for oil. I guess that'll do the job for now. It's not pretty, but it'll work. And box number 1 is checked off. I might do something about these hoses later, because I mean, this is not amazing looking, having hoses running everywhere. I might find a way to tuck them underneath the intake manifold or something, so they're out of the way. But at least this way, everything's gonna work as I want it to, even though it doesn't look the best. But you know what? Honestly, it's not even that bad. So now we're on to tucking away the ECU. I want all of this to be back in the stock location there. So what I'm going to do is take this bracket for the stock ECU here, and I'm just going to flip it so this stock ECU mounts back up upside down. And this will give a little bit more clearance so where we can put the FIC and we can also put the boom slang wiring harness. I was going to mount the ECU in the last video, but I was having some difficulty and I didn't have Torx bits to remove all these screws, but now I do. Flipping this bracket caused a couple of the holes to not line up for whatever reason, but I was able to get one screw on either side. That should be enough. It's not like the ECU is a moving part of the car or anything. I just need the bracket to hold it up. That's it. And there we go, the ECU is installed. So this is the boom slang wiring harness on top. Then we have the stock ECU connected to the brackets here. Stock ECU is there and the FIC is attached underneath that with some double-sided sticky tape. This is the stuff here I was using to mount the FIC onto the stock ECU, the sticky stuff. I actually have no idea where I got it. I think my dad gave it to me about a year ago from his workplace or something, and I have no idea who makes it or where it came from, but if I find a link to this stuff, I'll definitely leave it in the description below because this stuff works super well. And this USB cable I will just keep plugged into the FIC and I'll just run it into the glove box. That way anytime I want I can just open the glove box, pull this out, plug it into my computer, mess with the FIC or do whatever, and then when I'm done, I can just put it back in the glove box. Oh, it doesn't close anymore. Oh, that would explain it. There we go. All right, glove box is back. And there we go, it's finished. Zip ties to save the day right here, let's go. And now we're gonna fix the exhaust leak. So the exhaust is leaking because the gasket by the muffler collapsed, so I went and got a new muffler from AutoZone and we're gonna throw it in, and then that should take care of the leak. Thanks, this is what a new gasket feels like. And we've checked everything off the list. Oil catch can is done, ECU is done, and muffler gasket is installed, and the exhaust leak should be fixed. There's only one thing left to do. Let's get it out on the road. Well, I still hear an exhaust leak. It sounds like it's coming from the middle again, which is weird because I fixed it. So it looks like we still have a little bit more adjusting to do. Now off camera, I have already let the car warm up and idle and checked for leaks and all that. That's why we're going on a test drive now, instead of letting the car idle and checking everything. As I was pulling it out of the garage, it sounded like it was stuttering a little bit. I'm not sure what was going on. It seems to have corrected itself. The idle's pretty smooth now, which is a good sign. The check engine light is on. It's because there's no cat converter on the downpipe, and both the O2 sensors are on the downpipe before the cat converter that's still here. So it thinks there's no cat converter. That's why the check engine light is on. It's not on for anything else, so we should be good. So I think there's still a few kinks to work out. The idle seems a little bit off when the car is in drive or reverse. It does stutter a little bit. I wonder if it's just because the base map is, well, it's just that, it's just a base map. So it's probably not 100% right now. That and the stock ECU might be trying to correct it a little bit. Okay, I've got to wait before we start doing some pulls because this thing is not ready to rip yet. It hasn't warmed up. Little bit of compressor surge. I can still tell there's a bit of an exhaust leak. I'll fix it off camera because fixing exhaust leaks is kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. Wow. Ooh, okay, it did go off. That wasn't as quick as I thought it would be though. I did see on the boost gauge at wide open throttle there, it only read 1 pound of boost. That was it. Little strange, not sure what that's about. It's 1, that's it. I hear the blow-off valve going off though. So there's something in the system. Definitely making 1 pound of boost. One more. Yeah, it barely makes 1 pound. Okay. Alright, well, it's not a super big deal. We'll figure out what's going on with that boost leak. That's probably the most likely thing that's happened. I wonder if a coupler has just come off or something. If it's not that, it might be wastegates opening too early. If the wastegate's opening too early, then we might just have to throw a boost controller on this and see if that resolves the problem. So I just did a quick inspection of all the couplers and everything is looking good. Not thinking it's going to be a boost leak. So next thing I want to try out is installing a boost controller and seeing if that changes anything. Hopefully it does, because if the boost controller doesn't resolve it, I actually don't know what else it's gonna be. So, I've got a boost controller right here. It's a Turbo Smart blue boost controller. There's nothing too crazy about it. It's a standard Boost T manual boost controller. It just installs on the vacuum line between the compressor housing and the wastegate. So we'll install this, we'll get it back out on the road, and I'll start turning it up and seeing if anything changes. And there is the boost controller down there, and don't worry, we'll take care of the bent up air filter very soon. But for now, with the boost controllers in there, I probably want to move that because that's not a great spot. It is right next to the manifold. Yeah, pretty terrible spot for it, but it should be able to withstand the heat just fine. It's just a bad spot because if you want to adjust it while the car is running, you have to be very careful not to touch the manifold, because you're gonna have a bad day. I've turned the boost controller 5 clicks. Now I know that 1 click doesn't equal 1 PSI. I don't know how many total clicks there are. I've just turned it up to 5, because 5 clicks ideally should give more than 1 pound. So we'll see. All right, only one way to find out if this works. We gotta get her back on the road. Oh, it does work. It does work. We got to 2 PSI there. Okay, we just figured out our problem. Okay, right. We're getting somewhere. This is good. This is a good sign. Before on wide open throttle, we couldn't even get past 1. Now on half throttle, we've just gotten past 2. So it looks like the wastegate had an issue. It was opening too early. I'm not sure why, but it looks like now we're getting somewhere. We'll do a little pull here. I'm gonna watch the boost gauge. Holy shit. Okay, that's so much better. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Jeez. Let me just... Okay, so it goes up to 3. I want it to hit 5, so I'm gonna find a place to pull off and turn it up a little bit. I'll probably turn it up by 1 or 2 clicks at a time, just until we get to the pressure we want to get to. I know this is very sketchy. Please don't mind me. I'm just trying to fix my car. Alright, I turned it up by 3 clicks. I figured if 5 clicks gets me 3 PSI, 3 more should get me to around 5 PSI. Alright, we'll do one last pull here, because like I said, I'm not trying to abuse it while it's still on the base map. When I'm just breaking this thing in, I'm not even going to do that many pulls with it. Just one lap. Ah! No way! That's so good. We got to 60 on that pull. That is significantly faster than we could get to 60 before. And we didn't blow it up. Let's go. This is awesome. Oh my goodness. It actually got a little bit of wheel spin on that pull because my tires on the front are not great. They're a bit worn out, and by a bit, I mean they've hit the tread wear markers. All right, awesome. Now we can finally start driving this thing around, start breaking it in, and after 500 miles, we'll do the first oil change, put some full synthetic oil in here, and then we'll be good to go. And then after that, we'll get this thing tuned. I'm still looking for someone to tune an AEM FIC. If you know anyone in northern Colorado or even southern Wyoming, or even like central or southern Colorado, feel free to contact me, because I am still looking for somebody. Don't get me wrong, this car is not the fastest thing on the road. I understand that. There's gonna be people in the comments section on social media, they're gonna say, oh, because he put a turbo kit in his Corolla, now he thinks he's all that, and he thinks his Corolla is so fast, like my mom's minivan could beat that. Like, okay. I'm not thinking that I'm all that. I'm just having fun with my car, you know? This is so awesome! Let's go. The Turbo Corolla is running and driving as it should now. And there we have it. The Turbo Corolla is running and driving. Thank you everyone very much for watching today's video. I hope you guys are just as excited about seeing this thing run and drive as I am. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Oh, almost just dropped my camera.